And that's the shop we're headed towards. The main gallery is over there to your right. Correct.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Chicago Architectural Center. We're going to check out these models up here. You see where we're at. We're right at Wacker, just east of Michigan Avenue in Chicago. And fortunately, I wonder if it's because of the architectural biennial that's going on right now. Of course, we went to the Cultural Center yesterday and checked some of that out. I think for the month of November and the month of December, if you're visiting Chicago, you can check out the Chicago Architectural Center here for free. And so that's why I'm taking advantage of it. Thanks, Be Creative. Thanks, Mayo, for joining us. Yeah, we're at the Chicago Architectural Center inside the, this used to be the Illinois Center. Now they call it Michigan Plaza, I guess North. I guess this is, I don't know the address of this building. You can look it up here, but this is a Mies van der Rohe building we're standing inside. This is one of the last ones, along with the IBM building that was completed before he passed, Mies van der Rohe. But they got all these scale models. We'll go through this whole museum. Again, I think the month of November and December, you can visit this museum for free. So if you're shopping on Michigan Avenue or in town to see the lights and you want to stop in and check out this museum, it won't cost you anything. So I'll give you a little overview of what's going on here, what the displays are. And David, thanks for tuning in. Yeah. So to me, this is more interesting than what we saw yesterday at the Cultural Center. The biennial is great, but this is a more permanent display. And you know, we got typical site plans, building plans, elevations, photographs, design concepts. This is actually like implemented. They talk about, look at this nice park, look how it's a green roof, all this nice stuff that, let me get the camera straight here. Thanks for bearing with me. So we'll just give you an overview of the Chicago Architectural Center here. And I might do a brief overview of everything in here, and then if we have time, we'll come back and spend more time on the most interesting displays. And hosting life is an ecosystem. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Chicago Architectural Center here. Again, it's amazing. I'm lucking out. I was looking, it's a rainy day outside, so I was looking for something to do. And this is the month of November and December. This is free to visit. And look how they got a scale model of Chicago Loop. See, here's the Wolf Point. There's the South Branch Chicago River. There's the main branch. Remember, we always walk along there. Walk along the river walk a lot at lunchtime. There's the Sears Tower, the Willis Tower. There's the here's Millennium Park. This is looking north. There's the Aon Prudential Building. Look how you can get right down here and you can check out the skyline. Mary, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, Kitty Scholler. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. So, we just joined. We're at the Chicago Architecture Center here. It's right at Michigan and Wacker, just at the southeast corner here. And again, for the month of November and December, I think it's free. And I wonder if it has something to do with the architectural biennial. There's Mies van der Rohe. There's Mies van der Rohe. He designed this building we're in right now. His international style. There's Richard J. Daley, the first mayor. There's Marina Towers when they were first built. And that was probably in the late 60s, early 70s. Look how the skyline of Chicago has changed. You know, there's Buckingham Fountain. And look how dense the FAR block towers. You know, here are these historic photographs. Look at the storefronts on LaSalle Street. Look how different LaSalle Street looked back in the horse and carriage days. There you can clearly see the multiple levels of Wacker. This is how Lakeshore East used to look. You know that park we walked down in? It was wide open. And then look back to the Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable days. How the river used to, they made it. They cut it. There's his house, you know, and his canoe. Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable It's an artist rendering. No one knows for sure exactly what he looked like. And look at this. Look at all these. There you can have the futuristic city, the skywalks, all that stuff. Look, here's all this wonderful displays here. Wes, how's it going? Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah, so welcome to the Chicago Architectural Center here. And let's go. I'll show you some of these scale models here. And while everybody's on, please everybody send out your thoughts and prayers to Sarah. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been able to speak with her for a week. I know she's one of our great moderators there on TikTok. And hopefully she's just taking a break. And we wish Sarah the best, because she's such a great person. I know a lot of you met her, and just like me, through this TikTok, YouTube platform. And we wish her the best and hope everything's going okay. But here's a look at the Chrysler building. See, so through the window you see where we're at. That's the real Wrigley building, and the Tribune Tower that we always go by. That shows you where we're at, Michigan Avenue. We're inside this museum piece. It's a rainy, dreary day, so this is a perfect opportunity for us to check out these scale models of the Chrysler building. There's the Sears Willis Tower. It shows you when the Chrysler building was built, it was briefly the tallest building in New York before they built the Empire State Building. And it shows you how massive, to scale, the Sears Tower is taller than the Chrysler building. I don't know if they got the Empire State Building. Let's check it out here. There's the Marina Towers. Isn't that interesting? And a lot of these models were built. There's a wonderful model maker in the West Loop of Chicago. They're called Colombian model builders, I think. And they might have made some of these models, and they have 3D printers, and these were probably made by hand. Here's the Petronas Towers, which are in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. And these, because of the spire, were taller than the Sears. Even though the Sears spires go taller, they weren't counted as the height of the building. And isn't that interesting? Same with the Trump Tower. His spire counts, but the spires for the Sears do not count to the official height of the building because they're temporary. They're leased. And look at this view. Look at this view from the Marina Towers. And that's an interesting view. Look at that. They're actually on the back of the Marina Towers looking towards the lake. When it was built, that was probably taken in the 1970 around. And Marilyn, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're in the Chicago Architectural Center here, looking at the scale models here. Thanks for tuning in. And on a rainy Wednesday, that's why we're doing this indoors. Am I streaming okay? We're checking out the Chicago Architectural Center. And they got great displays on the wall. It's free to visit November and December, because I guess it has something to do with the architectural biennial. And so I just came down here, and we'll go through and check out the displays, all the models they got, models of skyscrapers. You can see these from the window. See the Chicago Architecture Center, it's printed on the glass there, and you can see where we're at out the window. We're right across from the Wrigley and Tribune Tower here in Chicago. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to YouTube. And we'll just cruise through this museum. The sky's the limit. Yeah, buildings that revolutionize tall timber. Fit for a king. So I'll just give you a brief overview of the displays in here. I don't know how much time it's going to take me to go through here. It's not that large of a museum. Usually they charge admission, but we're taking advantage of the free months here to... I've always had this in my back of my mind, saving it for a rainy day like today to go tour this museum, because it's close. It's near where I work. It's in the same complex. And yeah, look at all these scale models. This is a big thing in architecture, to build scale models. Like I said, Colombian Model Works there on the West Loop may have built some of these models. We've done work with them in the past, my firm, and they're a great local option if you ever need architectural models. There's the commercial for the day. Well, look at this. Hey Daniel, how's it going? Yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's free. It's free November and December. Normally they charge $14 to get in here. That's why I've been putting it off. And I guess, I don't know if it has something to do with the architectural biennial. Some museums have free days, like on Friday I might try to get in the Field Museum at lunch because they have free days. Unfortunately, the last free day for the Museum of Science and Industries today, I wish I would have used that to tour that great museum, but I got to work today. I got stuff, deadlines and stuff. I'm trying to get things out later today, but I still got time to break for lunch here and show you this. So let's go in the back here. Out there, I think they got some video display. If we go, I have to go to the first floor. So I'm on the second floor here. I'm just giving everybody a brief overview of what's in this museum. Let's go down to the first floor because they have a giant scale model of the whole, bigger than this, of the whole loop in downtown of Chicago. And they have a nice video presentation that we might try to film. I can just sit there and be quiet, and we can listen to the video presentation that gives an overview of what this museum is all about in Chicago and the stuff going on. Look at that straight ahead. It's one of the super tall planned high rises. You see how it compares with the Willis Tower. And I don't know if that's moving forward. There's amazingly super tall, some of this stuff in Dubai. Dubai has the tallest buildings in the world right now. Of course, the Burj Khalifa and some of the other towers. And of course, China has many tall towers too, in Shanghai and Hong Kong. But here's the Chicago Gallery. So if you just joined, we're in the Chicago Architectural Center here. And this is the Chicago rooms that they got. And so we'll wait for this. Eventually this will cycle through and they'll probably start a presentation. I'll try to catch it. But in the meantime, here's the scale model of the entire downtown and loop. Look, we're flying in over Navy Pier. I feel like I'm flying a drone here. We're just checking out the skyline. There's the Chicago River, the Jardine water plant right there, Navy Pier, the Ferris wheel. And here's the river, Lakeshore East. There's the area of Michigan Avenue we usually walk to every day. Chicago area, the Loop, Lakeshore East, all the way up to North Michigan Avenue, the John Hancock, River North, we walk through all the time. There's the Loop down Michigan Avenue. There's the South Loop, Roosevelt. There, look, there's the museum campus, the Field Museum, the Shed, the Adler Planetarium. This is Northerly Island, Burnham Harbor. There's Soldier Field. And look at this wonderful model. Isn't this great? Kevin, how's it going? Amber, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Oh yeah, build models. Isn't it fun to build models? You got to have attention to detail, be very steady hand. All this details and stuff. And so I'll stick around down here. I think it becomes a movie and I can film it. But look, we go all the way over to, here's the Dan Ryan, here's Pilsen, here's Chinatown. Remember when we go to Chinatown, the Chinatown gate's right there. There's the Pui Tak Center, Ping Tom Park. This is the whole, that used to be the rail yards, and they're going to build the 78. There's where Roosevelt, the viaduct goes across there. There's UIC, University of Illinois at Chicago. There's the whole connect to the Kennedy. Yeah, back at the well, this is not the Cultural Center. We were at the Cultural Center yesterday. This is a completely different museum. This is called the Chicago Architectural Center. It's near Michigan and Wacker. You can see it from Wacker Drive, just east of Michigan Avenue. It's in what used to be called the Illinois Center. I don't know what they call this building now. And look, they got Jeannie Gang's. They got the scale model of the whole Chicago skyline. There's Jeannie Gang's St. Regis. There's the Aqua, the Aon, Trump, Willis, Sears. I know most Chicagoans call it the Sears like me. I just say Willis so people don't get confused. Tuning in from other areas. Navy Pier, we'll fly around. Let's fly around to here. We're flying around Jardine. And we'll fly all around too. And this is where Oak Street Beach is. You can look right down Michigan Avenue. Remember we walk down here all the time and look at the skyline of Chicago. It's looking nice. People's Choice. Oh, yeah. I got to make sure I get his name right. I know I called him Rand. I don't know how that happened. I was so honored that he got us up there. He ran down and caught me on the street, said, hey, you want to check out the rooftop view? I said, yeah, sure, of course. And then Jen stopped by, and you should eat. And I was so overwhelmed by the whole experience that I started calling Jeremy the wrong name. And so I apologized to him. He said, that's okay. You know, I know we just first met. And yeah, that rooftop view from the Eugenie Terrace 44th floor was amazing. Thanks for checking out the rerun there if you missed it. And we'll stick around here to see if they... Do I have to push a button or something to get this movie to start? Maybe I know they have a movie that runs through. Maybe it's every half hour or something. It cycles through. Let's see if I can get it to start here. Well, let's look at some of this stuff. See, they got a little, you know, touch screens here. The evolving city of big data, city of architecture, Chicago Architecture Center. Here's where we're located here. This is north is this way. You see where we're at here. So the cultural center's there. That's where we're at. We're in this building. This was designed by Mies van der Rohe. There's the London House. This is looking, you know, the Hyatt hotels right here. It's looking towards the south. There, established in 2018. It's a hub. Mies van der Rohe, 111 East Wacker. So we're at 111 East Wacker. Looking. London Guarantee, which is now the London House Hotel, the Mather Tower. Look, they were building, this must have been taken about 1928-29. This is when the 333 Michigan building was being built. And you see how the Carbon and Carbine building wasn't there. So maybe it's 27. 28, 29 is when the building was built. This field building. Look at these towers. Some of these buildings still exist. And this all used to be rail yards this way. It shows the historical photos, fire department. You know, look at these, yeah, not the fire department, fire safety. It's very important to architecture, fire safety, standpipes. Here's the map of the Great Chicago Fire. We were talking about this last night when I was on the roof with Jen and Jeremy. Where we were at. Here's North Avenue. We were right there. That's where Eugenie Terrace, the 44th floor where we were at last night. You see how that's where legendary, the Mrs. O'Leary's cow, you know, I know that's a legend. No one knows for sure exactly how the south. And then it jumped the river again because the wind was blowing this way, and it burnt, and you know, the embers were flying through the air, and it burnt all the way up here. And that's why here's Sedgwick. Cleveland is that street. They had a different name for it. That's why the twin sisters survived. They were there. They were kind of by themselves. This was the north. This stuff, and that the policeman's house that he saved was on Hudson, right there, and he was right on the edge of the Great Chicago Fire. You can view this, but I saw earlier they were playing a video here, so I'm going to stick around because I'm going to try to. We got 12:19, so we got plenty of time. I'll stick around here and see if they'll play this video that I saw playing before, and then we'll just sit and film it. And if you miss it, we can watch it in a rerun, no big deal. You know, but here, look at all this new construction. It talks about the 1000M. Remember I showed you the progress of the 1000M in the South Loop. You see how it's cantilevered. It leans over top of this building. It uses the air rights to get an extra sliver of office space. Yeah. Yeah, cool town mode. Let's see. Yeah, giant food quarters in Chicago. Yeah. Yeah, they got to update the museum. Yeah, what a great display. Thanks, Maryland. Thanks for tuning in. Cool town. And Richard Gardner, everybody else I missed, West, thanks for being on here. Look at this. There's some of the design concepts for the 78. It's south of the Sears Tower going towards Chinatown. They're already built. They already extended wells. Here we go. So good. I'm going to sit and film this. So they're going to do a movie here, and yeah.
Carl Sandburg wrote about Chicago as city of the big shoulders, fierce, proud to be alive, planning, building, breaking, and rebuilding again. Chicagoans have always used design to shape their city and make a better future. The banks of the Chicago River are the traditional homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Ottawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations. The late 1700s saw the arrival of Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, a black man of African and French descent who was the first non-indigenous person to settle in the region. His trading post near the river's mouth served both indigenous people and European explorers. In the early 19th century, the United States government began forcibly taking Indian land. The process culminated in the 1833 Treaty of Chicago, which removed all remaining tribes from their ancestral home to land west of the Mississippi River. Chicago incorporated as a town that very year with only a few hundred residents. But its destiny as a metropolis was soon set in 1836 when construction began on a canal linking the Great Lakes to the Mississippi River, thereby connecting Chicago to every vital port in America. Its population exploded, and Chicago became the country's fastest growing city, earning the name Lightning City for its crackling energy, and Porkopolis for its primary industry, meatpacking. The city's proliferating railroads carried machinery, commodities, and lumber out of the city and brought goods and hundreds of thousands of people back. By 1870, Chicago's population had swelled to 300,000. To accommodate a burgeoning population, local builders employed a house frame made of lightweight lumber and nails, as easy to set aloft as a balloon. This balloon frame was employed for residences, warehouses, and institutional buildings, and aided the city's rapid growth. On October 8, 1871, a fire sparked and roared into an inferno a mile wide and 3 miles long north to south. When the winds abated 2 days later, more than 17,000 buildings were destroyed, 300 people had died, and a third of the population, 100,000 people, were homeless. Newspapers called the Chicago fire the night America burned. Surviving structures offered lessons. The wooden balloon frame buildings had aided the fire's spread, while brick, stone, and terracotta withstood the flames. Chicago architects began putting these materials to work. Emerging innovations, fireproofed iron, steel frames, and safe passenger elevators allowed Chicago buildings to climb above 5 stories. The rise of the skyscraper had begun. Louis Sullivan with Dagmar Adler pioneered structural innovations and fashioned elaborately ornamented buildings. As Chicago emerged reborn, its architects and business leaders came up with grand plans for re-envisioning the city. At the 1893 World's Fair, Daniel Burnham showcased his vision for Chicago as an orderly and humane place to work and to live. Burnham's 1909 plan of Chicago was a culmination of lessons learned at the fair. The plan offered Chicago a blueprint for growth. To this day, Chicago is renowned for Burnham's triumph, the multi-level Wacker Drive, a ribbon of green boulevards and parks. A lakefront free and clear. This influential urban design spurred an unparalleled building boom in the years after World War I and before the Great Depression. Buildings adorned with lavish materials and stylized ornamentation became architectural icons. If landscape, Frank Lloyd Wright's Prairie Song and details inspired by the flat Midwestern plains. The spread of Nazism in Germany brought Ludwig Mies van der Rohe to Chicago, who influenced generations of architects to shed historical new manufacturing facilities that laid the groundwork for subsequent development. But by 1950, manufacturing jobs in the city had started to ebb. Chicago was transitioning to an information and service-based economy. The 1950s and 60s witnessed a massive reshaping of the city. Highway construction and urban renewal policies changed Chicago. Despite community pushback, many of these government-led projects displaced Black, brown, and immigrant neighborhoods. Meanwhile, Chicago's downtown was being redefined. Architects pushed the height limits with modernist steel and glass buildings. In the 1970s and 80s, postmodern buildings drew inspiration from their surrounding environment and the vintage of earlier Chicago buildings. Bold, playful ornamentation and dramatic symbols. But as the 20th century came to a close and the population of Chicago 20 million residents, the city was faced with a new challenge. How to use design to remake the city's fabric once again, this time to better serve the needs of city residents. The success of Millennium Park and the Riverwalk have brought together architecture, landscape design, art, music, and family activities, reigniting the downtown living experience. Public spaces have become fundamental elements of a vibrant, livable city in the 20th century. Chicago is a leader in the smart city movement. Kinds of data to inform decisions. Chicago is a model and laboratory for Chicago, the city of architecture. Come explore it with us. You'll never see the city the same way again.
Well, hey, thanks for staying on there. I didn't realize the signal was cutting out. I was trying to concentrate on what I was filming, and I wasn't even moving or anything. And so maybe I'll have to film it again. I can't believe that, you know, I had nice signal until I just sat down and started filming that. Didn't even move, and it's almost like someone was playing a joke on me. Like when I was trying to film it, it cut out. So I had the comments turned off and was trying to just keep the camera steady. So I'm running off the Wi-Fi. I don't understand why the signal, maybe it's because we're on the ground floor here, you know, so hopefully you got some of that. I was just trying to film. But hey, Dolores, thanks for it was spotty, yeah, the darn signal. I literally had signal, turned off the comments, and just concentrated on filming. I didn't think I had to worry about it. And the bane of my existence as a live streamer is just trying to maintain a signal. And I know people just like glibly say for me to change my service provider, but I got my whole bundle with one company. It works excellent for my home Wi-Fi. Everywhere else, it's just, for some reason, live streaming, the bandwidth, it always is the bane of my existence. So it's very frustrating to me. I'm very angry about it that I have to change service providers just to be able to live. But I don't know if that's going to solve the problem. I don't know if switching to Verizon is going to solve the problem either. And it's just, you know, I want to pull my hair out. I literally want to bang my head against the wall that I can't just like live stream what I want to live stream. But hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the Chicago Architectural Center. I'll try to film that again. And I don't know if pulling the phone out of my pocket would have helped. Now we're streaming. When we get near the window, it's fine. It just happens that I can go back and actually like film it without live streaming, and that's what I'll have to do. So I'll go back sometime and I'll film that movie. I'll just have to film it the old-fashioned way without live streaming it, and post it to YouTube that way. But hey, if you just joined, I saw Dolores. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in to the. There's the gift shop down here. We're at the Chicago Architectural Center, and I was just we were in the Chicago Gallery. They had that nice movie. I really wanted to document it for everybody, but it just I had turned the comments off. I didn't realize it wasn't streaming, and I'm very disappointed that I wasn't able to film that nice movie because it was nice. And here we'll check out the gift shop and see what else they got in here. But we'll do the best we can. We can come back. I can give it another try. The whole month of November and December, the Chicago Architecture Center here that we're at here, 111 Wacker, East Wacker, is free. And I don't know if it has something to do with the architectural biennial or modern technology. Technology fails us once again. You know, it goes back to the philosophical question we always have. Before the age of TikTok and before the age of live streaming, I would just walk through here, have a good time. Now it becomes a frustrating experience because I'm trying to live stream it to you guys. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even be worried about it, you know? So it's like technology, like created a problem that didn't exist for me now, you know, that I'm trying to live stream. Look, they got all this Frank Lloyd Wright stuff. Look at the shot. But I want to promote this. So people will stop here and visit. If you're downtown shopping, you can just, you know, check out this gift shop. You can check out that movie I just showed and tried to show. And for those that tuned in late, I'll go through what we just did before. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Chicago Architecture Center here. And here's where you enter off of Wacker here. They got these scale models. And there, John and Kathleen Buck Atrium. You go up the stairs here. And then we were in the back rooms there where they had the movie. Here's the view out the window to the Wrigley and the Tribune. You go up the stairs here, and they got the scale models of the Chrysler Building, the Sears Tower, Willis Tower, and the Petronas, or the what they call the Petronas Towers there in Kuala Lumpur, and other buildings. And there you see the architectural models over there. We'll go ahead over there. Yeah, check it out in real person. It's always better in real person if you're in Chicago. I know not everybody is tuning in from Chicagoland, but if you're downtown, especially November and December, check out this museum. And I'll just give you an overview of what's on the wall here. Then you can spend your own time. You know, it's hard when you're watching it through the eyes of somebody else that's moving around, that you might want to stop and linger on something, and I don't spend enough time on it. But again, I already had lunch. I'm on my lunch break here from work, and this is convenient for me to cruise through here, give you a brief overview, and if you miss anything, hopefully you can catch it in the reruns there. Thanks for tuning in here. It's see, look at this scale model they got of the, this is something else. This is Chicago. This is the Loop. See, there's the Sears Tower over to the Aon. We're looking south and east from the west side. What is this? Let me see if I can catch what this model is here. This is not Chicago. What city is this? Tell us the city. Zurich. This is Zurich. This is in Germany. So look at the difference in the built urban form of the footprints of the building. Look how different that, you can tell that's housing. And then their downtown is probably centered around a rail line. And they got like little highways and flyovers, these big plazas. And This looks like actually in Paris. Is this Paris? Is this the Parisian? Let's see. What is this? This reminds me of La Défense in Paris. Why won't there? La Défense. La Défense. This is Paris. You know, Paris has the historic, north and south bank of the Seine there, and then off to the west they built a planned downtown along a rail line, and it's called La Défense, and it's their downtown where they have their high-rise skyscraper buildings. So this is a model of that area. I recognize that building. You might recognize it. It's a variation of the Arc de Triomphe. It's like a modernist version of the Arc de Triomphe. There they got all their pedways and stuff like this, and then it's just the same scale as downtown Chicago. So look how downtown Chicago is a lot more dense than La Défense in Paris, the built environment. Look at all these photographs. Thanks everybody. Thanks for sticking on here. Well, you see, this is it's not a really large museum. It's basically this second floor and that part in the back where I had a hard time maintaining a stream because it's kind of in the thick walls underneath all this stuff. But here's the scale models. We were looking at this before. They got the Chrysler building. There's the William LeBaron Jennings, the home insurance building. This is the first skyscraper that was torn down. It was over on LaSalle Street. It's where the LaSalle Bank building is now, and you see the scale, how much taller the Chrysler building is. It still exists. And then there's the Sears Tower to scale. It's much larger than the Chrysler building, but we don't have the Empire State Building to compare it to. Yeah, thanks Lisa, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I tried to film that little video. I might go back down there and try to catch it if they run it again and see if I can maybe stand in a different location and get a better stream. We'll go back down there after we leave this area. There's the Marina Towers, and there's the Petronas Towers. Here's the John Hancock. Isn't it funny we can look at the scale model here? Some of these might be built by the Columbian Model Building Company here. And then the actual John Hancock's right there, but you can look out the window and see the Tribune and Wrigley building. And look at this super tall one they got over here. It goes all the way to the floor. But yeah, let me go back downstairs. I'll try one last time to film that movie without interruption and see if we can maintain a constant stream. I'll really look at my streaming bit rate. I get distracted by what I'm looking at, and I don't check the streaming rate, and that's always when it gets me, and it's usually when I want to film something and then it drops off and I don't notice it. And we'll try it one more time here since we're here. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Chicago Architecture Center here. We're just checking it out over lunch. Give you an overview. Yeah, it's always better to visit in person. November and December you can visit us for free, so if you're shopping on Michigan Avenue and in this area, it's easy to get to by transit. We're right in the loop here. And there's of course the gift shop. There's where you can get tickets with, I think it's $14, if you got to pay. But the November and December, right, because of the architectural biennial, it's free. So hey, take advantage of free. I'm all about free. So I'm really going to check my bit rate, and let's see if we can catch this movie again where they're standing. Yeah, maybe it's going to start again. So I'll stand back here and let's see if we can film this movie here. Okay, so I'm going to try it again. So if you missed it, let's try it again here.
The poet Carl Sandburg wrote about Chicago as city of the big shoulders, fierce, proud to be alive, planning, building, breaking, and rebuilding again. Chicagoans have always used design to shape their city and make a better future. The banks of the Chicago River are the traditional homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations. The late 1700s saw the arrival of Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable, a black man of African and French descent who was the first non-indigenous person to settle in the region. His trading post near the river's mouth served both indigenous people and European explorers. In the early 19th century, the United States government began forcibly taking Indian land. The process culminated in the 1833 Treaty of Chicago, which removed all remaining tribes from their ancestral home to land west of the Mississippi River. Chicago incorporated as a town that very year with only a few hundred residents. But its destiny as a metropolis was soon set in 1836 when construction began on a canal linking the Great Lakes to the Mississippi River, thereby connecting Chicago to every vital port in America. Its population exploded, and Chicago became the country's fastest growing city, earning the name Lightning City for its crackling energy and Porkopolis for its primary industry, meatpacking. The city's proliferating railroads carried machinery, commodities, and lumber out of the city and brought goods and hundreds of thousands of people back. By 1870, Chicago's population had swelled to 300,000. To accommodate a burgeoning population, local builders employed a house frame made of lightweight lumber and nails, as easy to set aloft as a balloon. This balloon frame was employed for residences, warehouses, and institutional buildings, and aided the city's rapid growth. On October 8, 1871, a fire sparked and roared into an inferno a mile wide and 3 miles long north to south. When the winds abated 2 days later, more than 17,000 buildings were destroyed, 300 people had died, and a third of the population, 100,000 people, were homeless. Newspapers called the Chicago fire the night America burned. Surviving structures offered lessons. The wooden balloon frame buildings had aided the fire's spread, while brick, stone, and terracotta withstood the flames. Chicago architects began putting these materials to work. Emerging innovations, fireproofed iron, steel frames, and safe passenger elevators allowed Chicago buildings to climb above 5 stories. The rise of the skyscraper had begun. Louis Sullivan with Dagmar Adler pioneered structural innovations and fashioned elaborately ornamented buildings. As Chicago emerged reborn, its architects and business leaders came up with grand plans for re-envisioning the city. At the 1893 World's Fair, Daniel Burnham showcased his vision for Chicago as an orderly and humane place to work and to live. Burnham's 1909 plan of Chicago was a culmination of lessons learned at the fair. The plan offered Chicago a blueprint for growth. To this day, Chicago is renowned for Burnham's triumph, the multi-level Wacker Drive, a ribbon of green boulevards and parks. A lakefront free and clear. This influential urban design spurred an unparalleled building boom in the years after World War I and before the Great Depression. Buildings adorned with lavish materials and stylized ornamentation became architectural icons. If Daniel Burnham shaped the cityscape, Frank Lloyd Wright's Prairie School designs created an ideal of the American suburban home, pioneering an open floor plan and details inspired by the flat Midwestern plains. The spread of Nazism in Germany brought Ludwig Mies van der Rohe to Chicago, who influenced generations of architects to shed historical styles and embrace a design approach of less is more. America's entry into World War II also brought new manufacturing facilities that laid the groundwork for subsequent development. But by 1950, manufacturing jobs in the city had started to ebb. Chicago was transitioning to an information and service-based economy. The 1950s and 60s witnessed a massive reshaping of the city. Highway construction and urban renewal policies changed Chicago. Despite community pushback, many of these government-led projects displaced Black, brown, and immigrant neighborhoods. Meanwhile, Chicago's downtown was being redefined. Architects pushed the height limits with modernist steel and glass buildings. In the 1970s and 80s, postmodern buildings drew inspiration from their surrounding environment and the visual language of earlier Chicago buildings, while incorporating bold, playful ornamentation and dramatic symbolism. But as the 20th century came to a close and the population of Chicago neared 3 million residents, the city was faced with a new challenge: how to use design to remake the city's fabric once again, this time to better serve the needs of city residents. The success of Millennium Park and the Riverwalk have brought together architecture, landscape design, art, music, and family activities, reigniting the downtown living experience. Public spaces have become fundamental elements of a vibrant, livable city in the 21st century. Chicago is a global leader in the smart city movement, gathering varied kinds of data to inform decisions and planning. As it has been in the past, Chicago is a model and laboratory for cities everywhere. Chicago, the city of architecture. Come explore it with us. You'll never see the city the same way again.
Hey, hopefully that stream this time. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I don't know if the squirrel's gone. I know I walked. Yeah, it must have been gone. I was talking probably when we were walking down that portion of Michigan Avenue, and I might have walked right by it, so it might be gone. So I'll check tonight. We'll see in front of the Nike store if the squirrel's still there. Yeah, I was missing comments there. Thanks. Yeah, do this in the Cultural Center, Chris. Thanks for, the Cultural Center. I think that's why this is free. They got the biennial going on, and you saw what we saw yesterday. And then if you just, walk 2 blocks north, 3 blocks north, you go right here. It's free November and December. Hopefully that stream held out. Here we'll check out this scale model of, and you know, I was trying to film this before. I don't know if people were able to see it here. We're at the Chicago Architectural Center. Good. I'm glad it streamed. I did the second try, worked here. Look at the scale model of the whole river up to the Hancock, all the way down to the, they already got the 1000M in there. That's just topping out, down to the Field Museum, Shed Aquarium, all the way down to Burnham Harbor, Soldier Field. They even got over Chinatown, the Convention Center, over to the Dan Ryan, Pilsen. There's the river and the West Loop, and it's an amazing scale model. Again, the big shout out to the Colombian model builders there in the West Loop. They probably worked on this. They do models, architectural models for a lot of the architectural firms here in Chicago. Look at all the vintage skyscrapers. See, this is why I try to highlight all this stuff. All those people they talked about. Louis Sullivan, Adler, Mies van der Rohe, Frank Lloyd Wright. We go and actually go. We look. We were just there. There's the Roby House. Look, Chris. There's the Roosevelt University. The auditorium building. IIT. Remember when I went to IIT? Mies van der Rohe. Here's the original skyscraper. the home insurance company. There's the Board of Trade, Sears Tower, all these vintage skyscrapers we see on State Street. That's the one on Michigan, the Johnson Publishing Building. That's going towards the south. We filmed that too, and that's why, you know, I try to highlight this stuff. Remember when we went to the Morton Salt? We went to the Morton Salt, and it's now a music venue that, you know, over there. And look, the Wild Mile, remember by REI? We go down. So I try to point out all this stuff, and then they got it here. And thanks to you all for being interested in this stuff and sharing these common interests. And, you know, hopefully it has value, you know. We're trying to fight the vast wasteland of the internet and TV, you know, and misinformation, you know. And that's why I said, despite, here it talks about the different types of housing here. And look, this is great. Here, let's see if am I still streaming okay? Different types of density. High rises, those are Mies van der Rohe's Lake Point Towers. Let's pull here, let's see what this is. Look at this. Yeah, look at that. All right, mixed legacy. There's the Gold Coast, and there's Cabrini Green. That's the Robert Taylor Homes. That's the Robert Taylor Homes. That was the public housing. All this is gone. They tore all that down. This is empty lot still. It's down in the south side. Courtyard buildings, we film all these apartment buildings. And then, yeah, and then you got bungalows. Remember the bungalows? When we went to Al Capone's house, next to it were bungalows. His house is not a bungalow. His is like this one. His is like a 2-flat. Al Capone's house is like a 2-flat. And that's why they had the balcony on the roof, and it was right next to these down there in Grand Crossings. And then you got the workers' cottage. Remember when we go through Old Town? The house with the ducks? Those 3 houses with the ducks, they look just like that. The workers' cottages in Old Town. And they go through all the 5 different types of density of housing here in Chicago. Isn't this great? Yeah, Chris, check it out. It's free. November and December, check it out. That's why I've been waiting. You know, normally they charge $14 to go see through all this. So, you know, you can stop at the gift shop. We'll head right out to the gift shop. What time we got? 12:53. So I'll wrap it up. We'll exit through the gift shop. Exit to the gift shop. You can check out. You get buy all these books, and you know they got. I mean, just the fact that, you know, you can cruise through all these books. Lincoln, WPA buildings, Hellman Jan. See, look, there's a book of Hellman Jan's work. The Monroe Building. Remember how we go through the Monroe Building? All this stuff. And so I'll come back sometime and just look through. You got stuff for kids. They got my nephew love this stuff. They love building this stuff. You put it together. You know, it's like a model making stuff. They got puzzles. They got little architectural stuff for kids. You can do an engineering, build and play. Look at these gifts for the holidays. You can build a bridge, the Eiffel Tower. Look at all this stuff. I might get this for myself. We could use this for our firm. You got clothes, Great Lakes, Chicago flag. Thanks for tuning in. They even got jewelry. You can get some jewelry. You get some Frank Lloyd Wright designs. There he is, Frank the Great. And so Chicago Architectural Center, check it out. We'll try to promote this. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, if you missed anything, check out the reruns. You get your Buddha board. Look at this. Look at that. Yeah. It's amazing. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll talk to you later. So have a great Wednesday. Please keep Sarah in your thoughts and prayers. I don't know what's going on, but if anybody hears anything, tell Sarah we're.
If you are here for the 1 p.m. Chicago Architecture walkthrough time,
there it is.
Tour, please meet in the lobby now. Thank you.
See, they got walking tours. So if you come at 1 o'clock, they got a walking tour. Take advantage of that. Chris, check it out. Let me know if it's any good. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I got to go back to work. So we'll talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks, Anna, Chris, and Wes. And thanks for dealing with Lisa. Thanks for tuning in. Sharon, Richard, Mary, and Daniel, everybody. Enriquez, Mayo, Kevin. Chris, thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you later, Amber. Cool Town. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Thanks a lot. See you tonight on TikTok.